Bhagya scheme. This has, of course, been much debated. There's a lot of politics that's played out over the last few days. And in a recent decision right now, of course, in the cabinet decision that was taken a little while earlier here in Karnataka, they've decided now, the Congress government, to give cash assistance instead of the promised 5 kilograms of rice, as the government grapples with procuring an adequate rice supply from various sources. Now, under this new arrangement of sorts, an amount of rupees 170 will be transferred to the BPL card holders. Now, this is, of course, based on the prevailing market price of 5 kilograms of rice, which they were, of course, going to procure from the FCI. This stands at about 34 rupees per kilogram. The scheme, of course, announced by the Congress government, initially promised 10 kgs of rice with 5 kilograms sourced from the central government and 5, of course, which the state government would buy from various sources, which they preferred, of course, the FCI, because they say that's the best price bargain that they were able to get. However, a dispute arose between the state government and the centre regarding the rice procurement. The state government has been accusing the centre of politicizing the issue and refusing to provide the required amount of rice, while the Food Corporation of India informed the state government of its inability to fulfill the rice supply. Now, multiple reactions, of course, have been coming in. Let's listen in to a few of them.
ಯುರೋಪ್ನವರು ಬಸವರಾಜ ಬೊಮ್ಮಾಯಿ ಅವರು ಮತ್ತು ಬೇರೆಯವರೆಲ್ಲ BJP ಲೀಡರ್ಗಳು ಅಕ್ಕಿ ಕೊಡಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಡಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ನೀವು ಅಕ್ಕಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕೊಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ರಿ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಅಕ್ಕಿ ಕೊಡಿಸ್ರಿ. ಎಲ್ಲ BJP ಅವರು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾರಲ್ಲ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದವರು, ಇದು ಬಡವ್ರ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಅಪ್ಪ, ಬಡವ್ರ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಕೊಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅಡ್ಡಿ ಬರಬೇಡಿ. ನೀವು ದ್ವೇಷದ ರಾಜಕಾರಣ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಿ, ಕೊಡ್ರಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಒತ್ತಡ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಸರ್ಕಾರದವ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ. ನಾನು ಶಾ ಭೇಟಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ, ಶಾ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅಮಿತ್ ಶಾ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಮ್ಮ KH ಮುನಿಯಪ್ಪನವರು ಪಿಯೂಷ್ ಗೋಯಲ್ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಭೇಟಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಫುಡ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ನ. ಅವರು ಕೂಡ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ರು. ನನಗೆ ಅಮಿತ್ ಶಾ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. FCIನವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, ಮತ್ತು ಫುಡ್ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ನವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು.
Totally 10 kgs, 5 kgs rice. In remaining 5 kgs cash. Into 1 kg into 34 rupees, 10 rupees something. So up to available rice 1 or 2, 3 months. After that I will give rice only 10 kgs.
The central government has betrayed Karnataka. Modi government has betrayed Karnataka. Having stocks in their godowns. In Karnataka itself, they have about 7 lakh metric tons. Across India, they have more than 30-40 lakh metric tons. But they're not willing to give us the rice. We have tried to procure it from various other sources, different states. So their stocks are not enough for us to have regular supply. So till then, because we had promised from July 1st we will start. So till then, till we procure the rice, we will be debiting that amount of money, 34 rupees per kg per person. So for 5 kgs, it will be 170 rupees. So per person, 170 rupees will be debited directly into the head of the family's account of that particular ration card.
Well, with this solution that the Congress has now come up with, is everybody happy is the biggest question. To discuss more about this, we have Mr. Shathabish Shivanna from the Congress. We also have Vijay Prasad from the BJP, and also Manu Aiyappa, the chief of the political bureau from Times of India here in Bengaluru. Thank you all for joining us. I'd like to ask Mr. Prasad, the BJP has been saying, give money if you cannot give rice. Are you finally content with what the Congress has done?
Thanks, Deepak. See, a couple of things have come out kullam kulla in today's statement by Siddaramaiah. Okay, Siddaramaiah has for once directly accepted that the 5 kg rice which is being given today is coming from the Modi government and from the central government. Okay, so the second point is the people of Karnataka will get only 5 kgs instead of the 10 kgs which they promised before they went for the polls. That is the second thing. So the third thing is that Congress government has directly accepted that it has treated the people of Karnataka with the remaining 5 kgs. So the people of Karnataka should understand that they will not get 5 kgs, they will get only 5 plus 5 kgs instead of 5 plus 10 kgs. That is the fourth point I want to make. Congress has failed to has accepted that it has failed to provide rice and hence will give the people of Karnataka 34 rupees per person. For 5 kg, it will be 170 rupees. So that is the fifth thing. The sixth thing, what they have directly accepted is the DBT, the direct benefit transfer, which BJP government initiated. So what these people are doing, the Congress is using the DBT scheme of BJP government to transfer this 170 rupees. Very good. So in all these things, what is clear? The CM has clearly laid out that it can be 1, 3, or 6 months. We don't know. The people will have to wait for the rise. Arey Baba, you are not confirming when you are going to buy the rice and give the rice instead of the cash. So people of the state of Chhattisgarh, Telangana, Andhra, Punjab, they have said we cannot provide the rice. Punjab, I think Telangana said we'll give paddy. Where are you? See, Siddaramaiah says he has presented 13 budgets. Today, that 13 budget, what he has presented, being the second time chief minister, is going totally west, and he's unable to.
So should I take your answer as a no, Mr. Prasad, when I asked you in the beginning that are you happy because you were seeking that, the Congress, if they are not able to procure the rice in time, start, doling out money, because right now you've not answered that primary question. So is the BJP content?
The stand of the BJP is the rice. They have promised rice. So they have to give rice. That is the first and foremost thing which we are going to force.
Okay, let me take this to Shathabish then. Shathabish, this is an interesting situation because from how I read it, it's all about the economics behind it. You are saying, of course, Punjab has a certain amount of rice, but it's not working out. You've also approached other central agencies that the chief minister himself was talking about. The negotiations on the price didn't work out. So instead of spending about 3 rupees extra per rice or 5 rupees extra per rice, and of course the transportation cost that would also be added up here, you have decided you will stick to 34 rupees what you had initially planned to spend. That is through the FCI. Now, even though the FCI is not giving you the rice, you've decided that you will instead hand over this money to the people.
Yes, it is. See, firstly, Deepak, it is an interim measure. Now, it is not a disputed fact that the Food Corporation of India on the July 12th, by virtue of a written letter, a written communication made to the Chief Minister, dated 12 June 2023, agreed to sell rice to Karnataka. They have
but the BJP has already rebutted that, Shathabish. We again, when we discuss this issue, let's not go back to day one.
No. Let me just see. It is very important to see, sir. I didn't interject you. I didn't interject you. I don't know why you have this habit. Please let me finish.
Mr. Prasad, let him complete. Let's not have people speaking in between.
Yeah. See, we have promised 10 kgs of rice per person to those families that belong to below poverty line. And this is a social welfare scheme, Deepak. This is a scheme that was lauded by the people of Karnataka and everywhere else. And and it's not like we are going back on our commitment to provide rice. We will pay rupees 170 per person towards the 5 kg of rice till we arrange the stock. It is only an interim measure. And once, the money will be debited to the BPL card holders itself. We are committed to providing our guarantees. But the dispute here arises when the Food Corporation of India arbitrarily decides not to sell rice to Karnataka. And this is a direct consequence of the pressure and the undue influence applied by the BJP at the center on the Food Corporation of India. This stepmotherly treatment towards the people of Karnataka is uncalled for. This hate politics and they're trying to wreak vengeance against Congress party, but they fail to realize that they're hurting the sentiments and the feelings of the people of Karnataka and the Kannadigas. This is the issue. This is pure anti-poor politics being played by the Bharatiya Janata Party. The idea behind providing this scheme.
Well, Shathabish, the Chief Minister also did mention an important aspect today. I want to ask you about that as well. He did mention today that he wants to right now float a tender for procurement in the open market. Now, when you're talking about over 200,000 metric tons here, is this something that's feasible in an open market tender? Also, of course, when it comes to tenders, the question marks arises. as to whether there's going to be any sort of red tapeism involved. These are issues that, of course, come up. And more importantly, whether the quality that anybody will provide through the open market, is that going to be good enough for the price that's being paid? So is that actually a viable option?
This is precisely the reason why every state government or any administration approaches central government agencies first, or approaches agencies that come under the government of India to ensure that transparency is maintained, to ensure accountability is maintained, to ensure quality is maintained, as you rightly pointed out. But it is not this, it is the issue arises when BJP at the center treats us differently. They go back on the promises that they make. They treat Karnataka and the state of Karnataka very differently. And this is the issue.
No. See, I want to rebut that point.
Mr. Prasad, now you can come in now. Now you can come in, Mr. Prasad. Now, two things here. One is, of course, Mr. Siddaramaya's statement that he wants to go to the open market right now, procure it through a tender. Shathabish said that's the option number one they had. And because of the BJP, now they're resorting to this.
No, see, a couple of things, Deepak. The Congress spokesperson was telling that the government is going to directly debit the account of the BPL card holders. First, let them decide they are going to credit or they're going to debit. Congress has the habit of debiting someone's account. Okay, they don't.
No, for someone who is demanding money. For someone.
So let them first confirm whether they are going to debit 170 rupees to the BPL card holders or credit 170 rupees. Let them decide first. The second foremost thing is the Congress spokesperson was telling that stepmotherly attitude of the central government towards the state. In the last 10 days, I would like to remind the Congress spokesperson that the Karnataka has received its share of GST of 4,400 crores, 4,370 crores, and 3,600 crores towards the infrastructure development. So, BJP is not ruling Karnataka. So, Congress's government is there. So, there is no stepmotherly attitude. That is the point, rebuttal number two. The third thing is the Congress, then and again. So, Congress has the past of the Congress says that whenever they float the tender, whenever they float the public tender, they have the habit of creating a scam of its own. So the question that arises is, whatever the rice that Congress government is going to procure will be good for human consumption. Now, the A1 rice is being given by Modi government through the public distribution system. Now, everyone is consuming it. Now, will the Congress government will procure A1 rice at the same rate through the tender process, through the public tender process, and provide the same quality of rice to the people of Karnataka? Now that question is Congress is not answering that. Is in the open market system, will the A1 rice will be available at 34 rupees per kg? I don't think so. So the question that is in front of the Congress is, how are they going to procure? What are they going to do? Now,
Mr. Prasad, very interesting. I'm not sure if all our panelists are aware. I just spoke to Mr. Ramdas Atavale, who was in Bengaluru a little while ago. When he was asked this question, he went on to say, he was in fact one of the first reactions that's come in from, the union ministers who said, I will go back and speak to the FCI. This should not be done, to the poor because it's a welfare scheme for them. I'd like to bring in Mr. Manu Aiyappa, who's of course been patiently waiting. Mr. Aiyappa, it's a interesting situation, in fact, here when we look at how, the Chief Minister says now he's going to float a tender to starting tomorrow itself to procure from the open market. On the other hand, of course, now they're also giving money instead of rice. Do you think all of this will really work out? Mr. Aiyappa, if you can hear me?
No audio on TV.
Okay, we seem to have lost his line there. We'll try and get him back. Now, overall, of course, this has been a long-standing debate for the last couple of weeks. We've had multiple ministers who've been speaking about how, in the state of Karnataka, there has been duplicity on part of the BJP in not providing a rice which is meant for the
one
welfare
last thing,
scheme. As far as the
Deepak,
BJP
one
is
last
concerned,
thing.
they're saying this was not even our promise.
Deepak,
Well, I'm trying to get Mr. Aiyappa is back, I believe. Mr. Aiyappa, if you could tell me at this point, you've heard the Chief Minister what he said about floating a tender. Do you think that's really feasible here, considering question marks arise on the quality, question marks arise on the pricing, several other issues do surface when you have a tender that's being floated for such a huge amount?
Deepak, I think the Congress government has made a good move on this regard by giving 5 kg rice and the rest through the money through the DBT. The reason mainly because they will not get the raise for 34 rupees or 36 rupees, which FCI has been quoting. Yeah. They tried in all states and different various agencies of the central government, and I get to know that they've got more than 36 rupees or even close to 40 rupees, which could further burden the government to implement these 4 guarantees. So this is the best bet for them because they can give 34 rupees to the people, and it works out cheaper for them. It has a rationale, and they're also giving rice. 5 kg rice is already there, and plus the money, the people will be happy, and it's a good move considering considering the Lok Sabha elections. I don't think at least for next 2-3 months they'll manage to get these rice anywhere for less than 36 rupees, Deepak.
Yes, Mr. Aiyappa, definitely, like you mentioned, of course, financially a masterstroke, and also politically it seems like a masterstroke as far as Mr. Siddaramaiah and the Congress is concerned. But of course, floating a tender, that's where, the anomalies lie. Well, let's of course see how they go through or sail through that entire process. We'll have to, of course, wrap with that. I thank all the guests who've joined us, Mr. Shathabish, Mr. Prasad and Manu Aiyappa. We'll of course be coming back to you all when we discuss more issues pertaining to Karnataka. Now, moving on, Karnataka